Yun, live na tayo. Pero check ko lang muna yung yung aking audio. Sound check, check sound. Nagana ba? Tapos yung re-reacta natin, check ko lang
Thousands of views per day within 2 weeks of starting this channel. I didn't
Yun, nagana naman. So anyways, welcome sa aking YouTube channel. May electric pan dito sa harap ko kaya baka naiingayan kayo. Kaya nilagyan ko ng wind map yung yung mic ko eh. Okay. So ang re-reacta natin today is kung paano kumayos upuan ko. Wait lang. Ang re-reacta natin today is kung paano ba mag-viral dito sa YouTube. Ito, yung unang video na re-reacta natin, how to get so good on YouTube, you can stop going viral. So, hindi mo mapigilang mag-viral. Yun yung claim nitong video na to. Kaya lang, reach natin ng konti yung Ayan. So, okay. Ready na ba kayo? Kape muna tayo. Okay, so start na natin yung reaction natin. Nagkabulbul pa yung ko dito. Mga wires. Kaya lang, hugutin ko muna yung video natin. So ito, okay. Paano maging viral sa YouTube? Okay, play na natin. Alam, check ko lang yung audio. Yan, okay na. Game.
I was getting thousands of views per day within 2 weeks of starting this channel. I didn't post in forums, get shoutouts, or use some secret technique. All I did was upload 2 videos and nothing else. Today, you'll learn how to get those results for your own channel.
So, ang claim niya, 2 video lang in-upload niya tapos nag-viral na yun. Ooh, mukhang maganda. Game, chapter 1.
Chapter 1, breaking the algorithm. Getting YouTube's algorithm to blow up your channel is actually really simple. Here's how it works, explained by the largest creator on the platform.
If people are clicking and watching, then it gets promoted more. And that's literally all the algorithm does, is reflect what the people want.
It really is that simple. Success on YouTube comes when you make videos that people click on.
So, dito pumapasok yung sinasabi nilang kailangan intriguing yung title mo or interesting. Tapos yung thumbnail mo, very catching. Yun. So, dito baka malaman natin kung paano gawin na intriguing yung title at catching yung ating thumbnail. Backward ko lang ng konti. Okay, game.
Success on YouTube comes when you make videos that people click on and watch. The hard part is doing it better than everyone else. But based on my experience with 2 successful channels and my research into the methods of the best creators on the platform, I have created a step-by-step process to take your videos to the moon. In fact, your next video will mark that changing point in your channel if you do everything I tell you to. Chapter 2, a good idea. Messing up in the idea stage undermines the entire video, which makes this step the most important. To start, create a list of whatever you can think of that sounds interesting to people in your niche. Focus on what your niche wants, what they care about, what they're scared of, or even what they're insecure about. The real question here is, what video titles can you craft that address the needs of your audience? Figure out
Kung papansinin natin, ang sabi doon, needs. So, kailangan alam natin kung ano yung mga kailangan ng ating mga viewers. Like, example nitong ating video na to, ang mga manunod nito yung gustong magkaroon ng viral video or maging tawag nito, maraming ma-reach yung kanilang video, kumbaga viral, yun. So, good idea yung pinaka first example niya na kailangan natin. So, paano natin malalamang good idea yon? Ano yung mabibigay nating ano yung mabibigay nating value sa ating audience using that video. So, yun. Kailangan yung gagawin nating video, very important doon sa manunood. Dito na siguro ang mga example nito yung mga nakakatulong na video or yung yung tawag nito, hindi ko mabigas yung nasa isip ko yung tutorial, yan, tutorial video. Yung mga ganun kasi kailangan ng mga tao yun, lalo na pag specific doon sa isang area. Kunwari, about sa mga phone, kung paano ayusin yung cellphone, yun, may mga specific audience yun na talagang papanoorin nila yung videos mo. Okay. So, let's move on sa next na explanation niya.
Out what content will live up to the title later. And that's not even all there is to it. See if you can catch the mistake with this video here. It's about just one single feature that wasn't super interesting. Most people in my niche didn't have a reason to watch this. However, this video was relevant to far more Terraria players because the idea was way more broad. So your ideas can't be super specific. They must be attractive to most people in your niche.
Very specific dapat yung video natin. So, yun na nga yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung tutorial and how to ng mga videos. Yun. Okay, pero dapat eye-catching yung title tsaka yung thumbnail. Doon sa pinakita niya, medyo hindi ako makarelate kasi all about games and hindi ako nag-games ng mga ganon. Roblox ata yung game na yun. So, okay. Continue tayo.
Finding ideas can be challenging at first, so a little trick that I like to use is just leave all that thinking to the pros. I'll study trends and popular videos from my niche and then try to take ideas a step further or put some sort of twist on it.
Trends and popular sa niche. Kumbaga, ang gagawin natin, kunwari, pupunta natin yung mga same niche natin or mga YouTuber na kapares natin ng content. Tapos, titingnan natin ano yung mga viral na video nila. Yun yung gagawin natin with a touch ng our personal knowledge kung paano kumbaga, babasahin natin yung video or kukunin natin yung sa tingin natin na applicable at maganda sa atin. Tapos dadagdagan natin ng sa tingin natin mas i-improve pa ng video. So medyo advanced to kasi kailangan marunong ka mag-edit tsaka kaya mong tapatan yung mga mga tawag nito, competitor mo sa yung niche. Yun. So maganda. Game, continue tayo.
Wait, stop. You cannot make the video just yet. You'll see why in just a second. Chapter 3, Thumbnails and Titles. You still need to make the
So yung unang dalawa na in-example niya, bali yun, ideas pa lang. Wala pa yung pag-create ng ng videos. Even dito sa number 3, title and thumbnail pa lang yung in-explain niya. So, napaka-importante talaga nung napag-aralan na natin kung anong content yung gagawin natin before tayo mag-proceed sa filming. Okay. Game.
Title and thumbnail so you can actually calculate the quality of that idea. You see, for it to be a good idea, there must be at least one very compelling reason to click on the video. If you can't figure out a way to do that, then maybe you should watch this video here. Or maybe your idea just sucks. If that's the case, do not use that idea. Here's a video where it's very obvious what the reasons to watch are. For starters, you want to see what liquid sand looks like when it's moving around in a recording. But you'd also like to know how it works and what it looks like to swim in it. And for this video, the reason to watch is that Terraria players love to know about new features, and therefore this video will be interesting because it covers a new feature to the game. So the reason to watch is to learn about the Oasis in Terraria. That is some bullshit.
Pero ano sabi niya, be obvious doon sa thumbnail na kung ano yung mapapanood nila. Na hindi na sila mag-iisip pa ng malalim, kumbaga ganon. Pero ano yung sinabi niya pa doon? Binako lang ng konti
Like to swim in it. And for this video, the reason to watch is that Terraria players love to know about new features, and therefore this video will be interesting because it covers a new feature to the game. So the reason to watch is to learn about the Oasis in Terraria. That is some bullshit. The reason to watch can't require a bunch of rationalization, otherwise it's a really weak reason. Nobody cares about your video until you give a solid reason to watch it, like this. Find for yourself the difference in how enticing these two videos are. When it comes to designing the thumbnail, it's essential to make a thumbnail that lets anyone in your niche immediately understand what's going on. You can't rely too much on the title here because most often viewers look at the thumbnail before they look at the title. So don't use a poorly shot photo or an uncropped screenshot. Otherwise, your thumbnail is just too bland and confusing next to all the others. Most YouTubers don't even use a single frame from their video to make the thumbnail. Instead, they take new photos, often piecing multiple together to create an image that most effectively represents the idea of that video. Now for the title, it's the best opportunity for giving a reason to watch. My reason typically comes from titling the video as a question, but it's also a great strategy to instead give extra context about your video. Just make sure that the reason to watch is still clear. Chapter 4, Plan the Script.
So, ano pa lang to, pinag-aaralan pa lang natin yung thumbnail tsaka title. So, sa thumbnail, wag lang basta-basta yung, kunwari sa buong video natin, kukuha lang tayo ng clip doon, tas yun yung gagawin nating thumbnail. Dapat mag-edit tayo ng maganda, pero be obvious. And then sa title naman, kailangan nagtatanong para kumbaga ma-curious yung ating audience. And then, ano pa to? Teka lang, iniisip ko pa yung isang sinabi niya Basta yun, sa thumbnail, kailangan eye-catching siya. Kasi yun yung unang nakikita ng mga subscriber audience natin, yung thumbnail, bago nila basahin yung title. Then sa title, dapat very intriguing siya. Yun yung na-catch ko dito sa part na to. So, continue tayo dito sa chapter 4. Plan the script. So, hindi lang tayo yung basta-basta salita ng salita, kundi dapat planado din natin yung script. Okay, game. May nag-comment, hi daw. Yun, hi din sa'yo. Hirap basahin ang pangalan niya. So, yun. Hi sa mga nagko-comment. Game. Chapter 4 na tayo. Plan the script.
Remember earlier how Mr. Beast described the algorithm? Well, think of your entire scripting process as your plan for this part, making people watch your video for as long as possible. Even something like a vlog where you've recorded everything first requires you to consider what footage you have and then create a storyboard. Because without a strong strategy to maximize viewer retention, you will lose viewers incredibly quickly. A great way to think about all this is a big water tank with a leak in the bottom. At the start of your video, you're at a full tank, but it drains quickly, and once it's out, viewers start looking for something better to watch. The only way to keep viewers is to do a little refill by giving value to your audience. Say or do something interesting, something important or helpful. Even just make them smile, something like that. Also, be aware that the tank
Important and helpful, tapos valuable. Yun yung nakuha ko dun Ganda nun. Game.
drains at different speeds depending on your audience. Some niches and age groups have an attention span of around 20 seconds, while others can last maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Knowing that, you should spread out your key points of information evenly throughout the video to consistently refill the tank. Start by separating the video into different sections, each with a couple bullet points to list the takeaways. Next, plan out some pockets of dopamine, little edits, montages, or jokes to give the viewer a quick break. Without these, your video flies by way too quickly, which overwhelms the viewer and prevents them from absorbing anything. Chapter 5. Script writing.
Script writing.
Do you remember a minute ago when I talked about that water tank? Well, here is where it really comes into play. Once you start elaborating on the takeaways you just listed, explain them as simply as you can. A 10-minute video that could have been 3 minutes will be so boring that the average view duration will likely be just a minute. But flip this around, a 3-minute video, which is so compact that it feels like 10 minutes, will be so entertaining that the average view duration is likely closer to 2.5 minutes. But that being said, trimming down your video too far actually hurts engagement. It makes it feel really chaotic and kind of soulless. So while your wording should get to the point quickly, it should still resemble the spirit of a natural conversation. So make it feel like you're actually talking to the viewer. They should be an engaged listener, thinking about what you've said and asking questions. If you constantly tell things the exact same way, it gets monotonous. But if you switch it up, sometimes use an analogy or an example, tell a story or ask a question, it makes the video much more engaging. But as you may have noticed, there's now an even bigger problem. You see, with you shortening your videos so much, you struggle to reach that 8-minute mark where the sweet cash comes rolling in. So here's where the really high level stuff comes in. I like to call it valuable bullshit. I first discovered this when watching a Ryan Trahan video about a soundproof room. I was surprised at first that the video lasted exactly 8 minutes, but while watching I couldn't help but admire what Ryan was doing. And by the end of the video, I had learned one of the most crucial YouTube strategies. You see, the duration of that video was not a coincidence. His video could have lasted 5 minutes, but he extended it using valuable bullshit. Check this out.
The creator of The World's Quietest Room is a man named Steve Orfield of Orfield Laboratories. I'm scared of this man for a number of reasons. Not only does he send 2-word response emails, but also Orfield Laboratories literally sounds like the place a Demogorgon would be hiding in the next season of Stranger Things.
It's quick and subtle, but it's funny, and that gives value to the viewer. Also, it builds a more personal connection to who's watching, which makes them stick around with you for longer. All of the ways that Ryan fluffed up his video added something to it rather than stretched out what was already there. Before we talk about just forgetting all of this and letting AI write everything, we need to talk about the most important part of the script, the intro. If you do not take those first few seconds to meet the expectations people had going in, they will stop watching. So take a good look at your title and thumbnail. What made someone click that? What information, what pacing, and what mood are they expecting? Your entire video, but especially the intro, needs to align with those 3 principles. As for specifically what you say, there is no single answer. You just confirm to them that your video will be what they expected and then immediately start delivering. But please, I am begging you, do not ask for likes, for subscribers, or for money. That is not what they came here for.
So yun. Sa intro, very important na mag-script writing, no, para maging maging masaya at saka interesting yung ating video. Kaya wag yung bahala na yung kung ano masabi. So mali pala yon. Okay. And then sinabi niya wag tayo kagad hihingin ng like, subscribe, and money. Okay? So, mali yun. Sa umpisa pa lang ng video, maling-mali. So, ibig sabihin, give muna tayo ng value. Tsaka magbigay tayo ng information kung ano yung mga mapapanood nila dito sa ating video. Ayos. Dami nating nalalaman bago. Game, tuloy tayo.
Now about AI, it is a great tool to help with your script writing. I use it to find better vocabulary, to shorten sentences, and to improve my flow. But I would never use it to write a script. That's because AI is just stupid. It's trained using books and websites and therefore writes kind of the same way. But YouTube videos aren't written the same as books. Alright, sure, using AI is lazy and it messes up the video, but what I'm about to say is even worse. And guess what? You probably do it too. I sure did. Back in my Terraria channel, I would draw out the second half of my script and just kind of half-ass it. While it's true that people are more likely to keep watching the second half if they made it through the first half, they're only more likely to keep watching. But I counted on people staying once they got around to that halfway mark. The writing, editing, and everything else would get way worse. Then I put in an outro that gave credits and stuff like that. It took me a while to learn that there is no such thing as an outro on YouTube. Talk about why I hadn't blown up yet. It's because I was thinking of my channel one video at a time, and therefore viewers looked at my channel the same way, one video at a time. But what if they looked at my channel 5 videos at a time? 10 videos at a time. You know, there is no better way to tell YouTube to blow up your channel than to have people binge your videos. So plan for that. Don't let viewers get bored of you. Keep the second half just as good, and then they're far more likely to watch another of your videos next. Okay, with all of that being said, the most important thing for you to do is to avoid not writing anything because you're just trying to get it all perfect. Writing's a process. It's never going to be perfect the first time. Chapter 6, Recording. So
Okay, balik natin ng konti. Doon sa sinabi niya, very interesting yun ha. Sana nagigets nyo rin na bawat ginagawa natin doon sa ating sa scripting at saka sa mga information na kinukuha natin, dapat sinusulat natin. Kasi talagang sa umpisa talagang magme-mess up tayo, kumbaga magkakamali tayo at marami tayong dapat i-improve, lalo na kung nagsisimula nga. So yun, dapat nakasulat yun para makita rin natin, ma-review natin kung saan tayong dapat mag-improve na parte. Okay, so maganda dyan, hindi lang tayo basta nag-improve, kundi nag-research din tayo kung paano mag-improve. Yun. So, dito pa lang papasok yung recording. So, lahat ng yun, mga binanggit niya, puro plano pa lang. Tsaka dapat, recorded, nakasulat. Okay, game. Dito na tayo sa recording.
keep the second half just as good, and then they're far more likely to watch another of your videos next. Okay, with all of that being said, the most important thing for you to do is to avoid not writing anything because you're just trying to get it all perfect. Writing's a process, it's never going to be perfect the first time. Chapter 6, Recording. So about recording, I actually recorded my first 2 videos on my iPhone and a blue snowball, and the videos actually did really good. What's actually important is to just get as many clips as possible. You can't have one continuous shot of you talking. You need a variety of things for the viewer to look at. For my Terraria channel, I would spend on average 10 hours recording footage just so I could switch the clips every 5 seconds. And yes, it is worth it. The impact on your attention.
So sinabi niya rin doon na every 10 seconds nag-change siya ng clips. So ibig sabihin kailangan hindi lang stagnant na kunwari ganito, example ganito nagsasalita tayo. Wag lang stagnant na ganito, kundi dapat may B-roll tayo tapos may montage na nagra-run para nagbabago yung clip na nakikita ng mga audience natin. Okay. So sana nagigets nyo rin yun. Game.
Is massive. Chapter 7, Editing.
Editing.
The core of editing is pacing. You see, the style can be whatever you want, but pacing always has to be as fast as possible. To really give you a sense of what it should be, let's look at the bare minimum, a 90-minute nature documentary. This is a very slow-paced genre, yet at a random point in the film, the video cut to 3 different clips in 15 seconds, an average of 5 seconds per clip. While the style was extremely minimalist, just some background footage, music, and a voiceover, the editing maintained a brisk pace. So if this is just about the slowest editing you can possibly get away with, what does that have to say about your videos, which linger on the same clips for 10-20 seconds? And that's not even to mention the pauses that you make while you're speaking. No one wants to see you staring around trying to figure out what you have to say next. Or any part of your video that's just a couple seconds long where nothing's happening, cut that out too. Besides that, the style of editing should match up with the genre of your video and the audience you have. The wrong editing style can really ruin your video. So figure out how the best creators in your niche edit and then learn how to make something similar. Okay, here's the most underrated editing tip ever. Create a variety of how much energy your video gives off. The stark contrast of a hyper-edited section abruptly turning into a mellow A-roll segment forces the viewer to jump back into focus. These changes in pacing keeps the viewer from zoning out. Wait, do you hear that? That kind of like rumbling sound? That's called a riser. Oh, that was a hit. These are just 2 examples of sounds that make the video way more immersive. Just as important are transition sounds, ambient sounds, and some Foley sound. Sound design creates a really nice audio experience, which will help keep the viewers watching for a little longer, so I definitely recommend it. I used to use freesound.org, but now I use Envato Elements. And sound effects aren't the only way you can spice up the audio. Rather than throwing in a couple background songs that kind of work, create a more immersive experience by choosing a larger variety of music. A lot of the pacing and mood of a video comes from the music, so find songs that work really well for what you're aiming for. So yeah, that is the basic process, but for someone like you, I think you want something better, so click here for the more detailed version of all of them.
So, okay, tapos na. Grabe yung ano niya, yung binanggit niya doon, yung sounds, tsaka yung editing, no? Dapat maraming pacing every 5 seconds. Dapat may ibang nagaganap or nakikita yung audience natin sa ating mga video. Siguro re-reviewin ko to. Then mamaya pagkatapos nitong nitong live ko, ilalagay ko yung link nitong original na video na to doon sa description para kung gusto nyong panoorin at pag-aralan din, yan, mapanood nyo. Okay? Move na tayo doon sa pangalawang video natin. Marami ako natutunan doon, sana kayo rin, no? Ang next video natin ito. Galing sa thinkmedia. How anyone can do viral on YouTube in 2024. So ano to, very very napapanahon sa atin. May nag-ano nga pala dito comment, ewan ko nandito pa siya. The Top Hat Rat. Can you say hi to my friends, my friend Nick Gur? So yun, hi kay Nick Gur. Okay. Wala na, kanina pa yan eh. Ayaw ko lang kasi putulin yung pinapanood natin para sa shoutout. Pasensya na. Okay. So let's move to this. Okay, kung ready na kayo, panoorin na natin.
Last night, I screenshotted it because I thought it was funny. I got recommended a 10-year-old video on my homepage. It's got 22 million views. I'm like, there's no editing.
If that guy that you just showed me can make a video, get 22 million views, anybody can do it.
I have a terrible thumbnail. I have a terrible title, but this video took off.
Yeah.
Well, that's because it had a great...
You gotta just press record.
Let me first explain how YouTube works, because I feel like understanding for people like how the algorithm works, how the platform works, then you can reverse engineer on like how do you want to utilize that.
Right.
So no matter what, if you start posting YouTube videos, even if you have 0 subscribers, YouTube's gonna put you in the algorithm and push you out to somebody. Now you still might get 0 views because no one clicked on your video, but people saw it.
Right.
So YouTube calls that an impression. So you're gonna get an impression, and let's say you make a video on real estate, right? It, based on the metadata and the tags and description and the title saying real estate, YouTube knows that, you know, the video is about real estate. And I mean, it's way more in depth than that. They literally scan every frame and can tell you that you're wearing a White Sox logo and like all that. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And faces too, like, right? So if someone else posts a clip of like Ryan, it would know that's Ryan. Like, it's pretty, you know, in depth. But they know who to, you know, push it out to. So that's one of the things of like making the right types of content to get in front of the right people. But then it's how do you get them to actually click? How do you get them to click on your video? And once you get people to click and watch, that's how it pushes out to more and more people. So how do you get people to click on a video? I call it packaging, and it's topic, thumbnail, and title. And so it's got to be the right topic that people are interested in, because you might have the best thumbnail you've ever made and the best title that you guys have ever thought of, but no one's interested in what you're talking about.
It's not relevant.
It's not relevant. So there's the
So, tatlo dapat yun, package dapat para maging viral yung isang video. Kasi kung maganda yung thumbnail mo, tapos maganda rin yung title mo, pero pagka-click nila sa panood nila, parang hindi interesting yung topic mo, mag-aalis din kagad sila sa video mo. So, dito dapat magkadugtong yung tatlo, or na-plan mo na talaga ahead yung videos mo. Okay. Game.
topic piece. And then sometimes you'll see, I have a terrible thumbnail, I have a terrible title, but this video took off.
Yeah.
Well, that's because it had a great topic.
Yeah.
And people are interested, like, you know, there's gonna be certain things that like this podcast, for example, might be titled something along of like how to grow a YouTube channel, how to get views, how to make money on YouTube.
Yeah.
Those are kind of like more interesting topics than if we were to talk about something or frame it, package this video, you know, in something that like they're not interested, they're just not going to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So I think creators can learn as they post. They'll start to see like the data doesn't lie.
Right.
So people are watching this type of content because they're interested in this. And so the more you can dive into that and lean into that and look at that. But I think you're asking about what numbers to look at.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things we really like to do to make the algorithm work for us, right, is click-through rate is a big one. And so how many, when YouTube pushes it out, how many people click on that video?
Right.
So if it's...
Kumbaga si YouTube, kumukuha din ng, nagko-collect din ng data. Kumbaga, ipapakita niya yung kunwari sa 100 na tao yung videos mo. Ngayon, ilan doon sa 100 na katao na pinakitaan niya ang magkiklik ng video mo. Kaya dapat importante na malaman ni YouTube yung algorithm ng videos mo kung para kanino ba talaga dapat yung videos mo na yon. So dito na papasok yung niche or yung topic ng iyong channel. Kabuuan, kumbaga, para alam niya kung kaninong audience ipapakita. Kasi kung puro halo-halo yung videos mo, kumbaga kung ano no lang upload mo, nag-games ka, tapos nag-tutorial ka, tapos nag-vlog ka, so parang hindi niya alam kung sino yung audience na papakitaan niya. So yun, dapat be specific sa ating YouTube channel kung gusto nating maging viral. Okay? So, equip yan nung tatlong sinabi niya kanina yung thumbnail, title, tsaka topic ng video. Okay. Game.
It depends too, like our search videos have crazy high, like 20-30% click-through rate, which is very high on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because you type in like best camera for YouTube, we're at the top.
Right.
And so there's already, so I think click-through rate, people underestimate, they just think it's title and thumbnail, and there's way more to it than that. There's brand, like literally, I watch Mr. Beast videos, but like there's way more bigger Mr. Beast fans than me. I'm watching his video because it's Mr. Beast. I literally don't care what he posts.
Right.
I just want to watch it because I'm interested.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
And that increases click-through rate by building your brand up. So by constantly giving quality content.
Okay. yung sinasabi niyang brand, yung kilala, makikilala ka dun sa sa pagiging ikaw. Kaya dito very important din na maging authentic tayo eh. Kunwari yung example niya si Mr. Beast. Sabi niya kahit anong i-upload ni Mr. Beast, panonoorin niya dahil natutuwa siya kay Mr. Beast or gustong-gusto niyang panoorin si Mr. Beast. Dito sa Pilipinas, kunwari si Kong TV, alam naman natin for vlogging si Kong TV, kahit anong kunwari pantayan ni Kong TV, kahit anong i-post ni Kong TV, panoorin natin, kumbaga i-consume natin yung content niya dahil gusto natin siya as Kong TV. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, once na build mo na yung brand mo, doon pwede ka nang mag-upload ng kahit anong gusto mo. Pero, kung nagsisimula ka, hindi ka pa rin ganong kilala, so dapat be specific sa content natin. Okay? So, yun yung yun yung mga nakolek kong data at na iintindihan ko sa akin. Ngayon, kung may iba kayong pananaw tungkol sa mga nasabi ko, ay i-comment nyo lang sa comment section para basahin natin at malaman kung ano yung idea ninyo tungkol dito sa video na to. Continue tayo.
People want to watch every single video, and if you can get to that point eventually, like, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Another part too is like, how good was your last video? If someone watches this podcast and they feel like we wasted their time, and then YouTube recommends another video, and like, nah, I'm not
They
gonna
don't click on it. Yeah.
They're just not gonna click on it.
If you're looking to get your first 1,000 subscribers or make your first $1,000 on YouTube, then join our free YouTube challenge that many other small creators have joined and seen tons of success. During this free challenge, Sean is going to share some of the best strategies for growing to your first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, as well as making your first $1,000. Just go to tube1kchallenge.com or check the link down in the description.
The titles, like you're using like keywords to kind of get people captured, right? Like I noticed for a while it was the versus something, right? Like this versus this, especially when you're reviewing tech, right? And then it was put the year on there, and then it was using words like insane and all these different things that people were testing out because a lot of them were watching what Mr. Beast was doing, right? But then I was realizing too, like at the end of the day, the video's good or it's not, right? Like at the very end of the day. And it's like you just, you know, and I'm just affirming what you said. Like, if I click through one and you wasted my time and then I get fed it again, but I don't, it's reading that, right? Like, it's paying close attention to that. So,
okay, so yun daw. Dapat once na nag-click sila sa video natin, tapos sa tingin nila na sayang yung oras nila, tapos ipapakita ni YouTube yung next video natin or yung iba pa nating video, nagkaroon na sila ng ng notion or nagkaroon na sila ng feeling na sinayang lang nito yung oras ko kaya hindi ko na siya pagbibigyan. Hindi ko na panonoorin yung mga next video niya. So doon pumapasok ng napaka-importante na be consistent sa ating content, na maging maganda lagi yung editing presentation natin. Okay? So game.
I always encourage my students, like, just if you're early in the game, it's gonna suck, right? It's gonna be your worst videos you ever made if you're just starting. It's fine.
Yeah.
But try to make the next one better and continue to get better every single video. And you'll start to see that
okay lang daw na magkamali tayo sa umpisa, kumbaga pangit yung mailabas nating video, pero dapat next upload natin ay gumaganda yung video natin. So, every time na nag-upload tayo, may improvement doon sa video. Hindi yung maganda yung nilabas natin, kinabukasan, flop na. Hindi na ganun kaganda yung editing. So, dapat ma-maintain natin na high quality lagi yung ating video. Okay, ganda nung example na yun.
the platform reads that as well, right? Like even down to like quality, right? Like sometimes, these are some of our worst videos that we felt like we filmed terribly and edited, the audio's bad, everything's bad about it, did well. And then the video that we took our time on, got the slowest of motion possible on the water that was in the fountain, like all that kind of stuff. I was like, yeah, this is a really good video as far as cinematic and performance, but they don't care at all about this because they're coming for his information. And so it's like kind of learning all those pieces. Again, it's the packaging. Like, how are you putting this together? And then what is within it? What substance are you putting within it? And so that's what I've learned. Like,
I gotta ask you about that because
Go for it.
you like just gave the secret to YouTube
Okay.
and you like glossed over it almost. But like, what you're saying is, and a lot of videographers are like, dude, this is such a good video.
Yeah.
To them, it's such a good video. We got the slow-mo shot. We got the slider coming in.
Yep.
You know, like
Yep.
like it looks sick. But what you said are like, actually, they just want the information. And so like,
Yun, information. Napaka-importante talaga nung value or nung information, informative. Pero included din sa sa pag-YouTube yung yung entertaining. So, wag natin kakalimutan yun kasi yung pinapakita nila na magandang cinematic, magandang montage, very entertaining yon sa mata. Pero karamihan kasi ng pumupunta sa YouTube, gusto yung matuto. Baga yung information, yun yung mas kinukonsume ng marami. Ako, kunwari, example na lang tayo, di ba? Kung may gusto tayong matutunan, ang unang takbuhan natin YouTube talaga. Madali kasi dito maghanap ng mga mga information na gusto mong matutunan. Kagaya ako, nung pandemic, gusto ko mag-YouTube. So, nag-search ako paano gumawa ng YouTube. Dito rin mismo sa YouTube. Then, gusto ko na mag-upload. So, nag-search ako kung anong apps yung magandang pang-edit. So, yun. Lahat ng information na gusto nating malaman, andito na sa YouTube. So, yun yung mga mas kinukonsume ng tao, yung informative videos. Okay? Marami din naman nanonood dito for entertainment, pero mas marami pa rin. Sa tingin ko, mas marami pa rin ang naghahanap tungkol sa mga information. Even sa even sa Google, pag nag-search ka, lumalabas doon, isa sa mga suggestion niya yung mga video sa YouTube. Okay, game.
pause for a second and think about, what do people actually want from you? Because quality is subjective.
Right.
So is your channel to teach something? So because when you talk about they need to make better videos each time, I'd love to talk about like how, because people are going to be like, okay, because I think the first thing is understanding like, what do they even want from your video? Because you might not need you could go viral on your phone.
Yeah.
You know, like,
sure.
So how do you get better?
Yeah. Yeah. To me, getting better at every video means that the individual, whoever your target audience is, right? So that's first. You got to figure out who you're targeting.
Audience, yeah.
But whoever that individual is going to be left with more to apply. That's what, in my industry, that's what getting better means.
Yeah.
Right. So for instance, this conversation that we're having, if I walked you in here and I was like, hey, man, this is the Wealthy Creator Podcast. We just talk about content. Tell me what you're doing to make content. Yeah. All right, everybody, thank you for being here. Like if I gave it like raw, like surface level information, right? Like what we just gave about, the algorithm and things that we do to figure it out, that's going to help a lot of people. So it just goes back to what we're saying, like about trying to get better every single time. It doesn't necessarily mean I need to buy a better lens, right, to make it sharper. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm more, or more or less referring to the actual
content,
information.
Information, yeah. I totally agree. Like last night, I screenshotted it because I thought it was funny. And it's, again, why I love YouTube. I got recommended a 10-year-old video on my homepage. Like last night, I'm like, just winding down, get ready for bed. It's like 10:30. 10-year-old video. Actually, let me just tell you the title of it.
Yeah.
The thumbnail is a screenshot from the video, like literally just like custom thumbnail. You know, that just like randomly
whatever
chose
YouTube
one.
chose. Yeah,
it was whatever YouTube chose, and it was on a webcam. An old man's advice. It's a almost 6 minute long video. It's got 22 million views. I'm like, I click on it. There's no editing, and but you want to hear what this guy has to say, and so. People think, how can I get people to watch longer? Of course, that matters to YouTube.
Right.
But at the end of the day, all YouTube is trying to do is put videos in front of you that you're interested in and that are actually good videos.
Right.
But then it's like, okay, what's a good video?
Yeah.
Well, a good video, typically, there's like all sorts of signs from it, but like, you could get in, if someone likes that video, if they watch another video or they watch all of the video or they watch a lot of the video, like, those are all good signs and things to strive for to make your content better.
Yeah.
But it's like, it doesn't have to be editing. It doesn't have to be that. It's like, how can I get to the point faster, right? To not waste people's time. So they're not, when people skip through your video, that hurts the YouTube algorithm.
Oh, yeah.
Because your average view duration, the amount of time they're watching your video is cut back now.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to take those parts out, look at the analytics, look at your retention graph, and try and study that. And that's how you can level up, is by, you know, looking at that kind of stuff. But I just thought that was so funny. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a weird, YouTube is a weird space.
And I think that's why people should be, if they're just starting, they should be really encouraged.
Yes.
Because
Okay, so dun sa pinakita niya, meron doon isang viral, kumbaga, kung idudugtong natin doon sa unang part ng pinanood natin, yung reacta natin, doon very specific, kumbaga paplanuhin sa simula, ideas, tas competitive, pag-aaralan mo yung mga competitors mo, and then mag-iisip ka ng title and thumbnail, tas research, tapos tsaka mag-scripting, and then scripting, filming, then yun na. Then improve ka na, improve every details. Dito naman, ang natutunan ko dito is create informative videos. Kasi kumbaga, hindi mo malalaman kung sino talaga yung magkaka-interest. Bigay mo lang yung information na gusto mong ibigay, na gusto mong ibato, na sa tingin mo makakatulong sa ibang tao. I-film mo lang, and bahala na si YouTube gawin yung part niya. Ganon. Kasi yung pinakita niya, advice ng isang matanda, tapos screenshot lang yung thumbnail nun, and then parang napakasimple lang nung direct to the point yung title, and boom, 22 million ang nag-views. Very interesting. Ano lang siya, walang editing yung video, diretso salita. Very powerful. Hindi mo talaga alam kung sino yung magko-consume ng iyong mga video. Basta ang kailangan mo lang ibigay yung information na sa tingin mo makakatulong sa ibang tao. So yun, napakaganda nun Kumbaga, wag tayo mag-isip na kailangan bongga yung yung production ko, maganda yung camera, maganda lahat, kailangan professional to lahat. Hindi ganon. Kumbaga, magsimula tayo about sa information muna, kung ano yung gusto nating i-share, tapos gawin lang natin. Tapos every videos na ginagawa natin, mag-improve lang tayo na mag-improve, and then makukuha din natin yung goal natin na mag-viral at maging productive yung ating YouTube channel. So yun, sana nagigets nyo yung pinupunto ko. Okay, continue.
if that guy that you just showed me can make a video, get 22 million views, anybody can do it. You know, it really is just having, the right messaging and making sure that you're, like I always say, if you're serving someone, it's going to work, right? Figuring out how to solve someone's problem and serve them without the intent of receiving anything, right? Like, I don't do this to receive anything, right? It's not what I'm going into it for, because otherwise you'll never feel like you're getting what you deserve, right? For me, it's more about, all right, I'm going into this to see how many people I can have impact on and just help. This video may get 100 views and not go anywhere at the launch of this thing, right? But I'm trusting that a year from now, I'm going to see major impact from that, all right? And so it really is just a steadfast journey. And I always say, YouTube's a slow burn. It just is what it is. Not everybody gets to release something and see instant success. It happens, but just not common.
Well, dude, I have a video on Think Media. It's 3 years old, and it's making $1,000 a month. What I love about YouTube too, which is different, is it's such a snowball effect. You're gonna notice, like, I mean, you already see this, but like your podcast, when it really starts to when YouTube finds the right audience, they're gonna start binging your episodes and then getting recommended more, and you literally see these snowball effects of growth for creators, and because YouTube values just like quality content. So if you're willing to put out quality content that helps viewers and they are interested in what you're talking about, you can do YouTube.
Okay, so tapos na yan, no? Grabe, ang ganda nung natutunan ko doon. hindi mo masasabi kung anong video yung magba-viral. Kumbaga, bigay ka lang ng bigay ng information ng do not intent na makareceive ng something. Kumbaga, bigay mo lang yung yung mga information na gusto mong ibahagi sa ibang tao na sa tingin mo makakatulong. And tuloy-tuloy ka lang. At yun, hindi mo alam kung kailan yung balik. Pero mayroon at mayroong may babalik sa'yo. Yun, basta keep on improving your video. Yun. So, maganda. Meron nga daw siyang video na matagal na pero nagbibigay siya sa kanya ng kita na 1,000 per month. 1,000 dito sa Pilipinas equivalent sa mga 50,000 something. So, ang laking pera nun sa atin, no? Biro yung 50,000. Ewan ko sa inyo kung malaki na sa inyo yun, pero sa akin, magandang amount of money na yung 50,000. So, yun. Dito kasi sa pag-YouTube, isa sa natutunan ko nung nagde-network marketing ako, nung nasa networking pa ako, is mag-create daw ng passive income. Ngayon, syempre, dahil natutunan ko na pwede ka palang mag-search dito sa YouTube, nag-search ako ng passive income dito sa YouTube. Isa sa mga na-recommend yung paggawa ng video dito sa YouTube. Kasi nga naman, once na may nanonood sa videos mo at may nagra-run na ads, at yun, kikita ka sa YouTube. So, ibig sabihin, kunwari, gumawa ako ng video ngayon, after 1 year, kung may mga nanonood pa rin mga tao, at binavalue nila yung video ko na to, so, patuloy na may ads na magpe-play dyan at magbibigay sila sa akin ng ng revenue. So, pero tapos ko nang gawin itong video na to. Matagal ko nang nagawa. So, ganun lang. Kumbaga, everyday or kunwari per week, 2 video ina-upload mo, tuloy-tuloy lang. In a matter of year, basta nag-i-improve yung videos mo, tapos may patuloy na nanonood dyan, kikita at kikita pa rin yung videos mo, which is maganda. Kung gusto mo mag full time sa YouTube, pag YouTube, okay din. Pero sa tingin ko, pag nagsisimula ka, kung wala ka pang ganong idea sa pag-YouTube, wag mong i-full time ka agad kasi malaki yung kakaining resources sa'yo. Maganda na lang to. Kumbaga side hustle sa simula. Sa simula talaga wala kakikita dito kung aasa tayo sa monetization. Pero kung meron kang business tapos ipe-present mo dito sa YouTube, I think kikita 'yon, no? Pero wag naman masyadong pushy. Diba? Kumbaga give value, then promote your business, and then create another videos again, giving value, then promote. 'Yon. Kikita ka doon sa every promotion mo. Pero dapat nagbibigay ng value yung video natin. So yun. Overall, maganda yung mga natutunan ko at sana marami din kayo natutunan. At siguro hanggang dito na lang muna yung ating video. Maaga-aga pa, no? Okay, so kita-kits sa susunod na video. Ako nga pala ang inyong kapwa creator, Kuya Ed. Always remind you, you are great. Kita-kits sa susunod na video. End na natin yung live. Magla-live tayo sa kabila.